Liberals are kind of lost in the wilderness right now. And liberals have a little bit of a manhood problem because they can't figure out which bathrooms to go into, and they can't figure out what the difference between a man and a woman is. And they're trying to address their manhood problem. And so in an effort to do that, Gavin Newsom's been hosting these podcasts, and he's trying to repair himself for a run for the presidency in 2028, and everybody knows it. And it's not going to work because the more he does that, the more the Midwest looks at him and goes, no, thank you. But he had a former vice presidential candidate, Tim Walz, on his little podcast show, and I want you to listen to what Tim had to say about the GOP.
You got to respect people you disagree with, and you can't just dismiss people.
How do you fight it?
This
I think I could kick most of their ass. I do think that if they want to do it. I know I can outrun them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing.
That is former vice presidential candidate Tim Walz bringing up the idea of challenging someone within the GOP to a WWE type of thing.
Boy.
With that in mind, I welcome to the broadcast from the Matt Murphy Show hotline, Mayor Glenn Jacobs from Knox County. Hello, Mr. Mayor. How are you?
Hey, Matt. Thanks for having me on. How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. And it's my understanding that you got wind that apparently Timmy is laying down some challenges around the country. What do you think of that, Mayor?
Well, first of all, I think your analysis is spot on that the Democrats have a masculinity problem, and they're flailing around trying to figure out how to address that, and they have no idea. So you have people just trying to talk tough now, but the problem is folks can see right through that. In order to be a tough guy, in order to portray yourself as a tough guy, yes, you have to be a tough guy, and Tim Walz is not a tough guy. But secondly, you can't say something like that and not expect people are going to call you out, which is exactly what I did. And if he wants to accept the match with me, that's great. We'll do one for charity. I think we can actually raise a lot of money, and it'll be a lot of fun as well. But so far, I haven't heard anything back from him.
That is unfortunate, Mr. Mayor. Now, for those few of you in the listening audience that know Glenn Jacobs, and there has to be a little bit of pride that some people just know you as a great mayor of Knox County, Glenn. You know that, right? Some people have forgotten what an incredible performer and wrestler you were in the WWE ring. So he was Kane, of course, in WWE. And so when did you first find out that Tim had said this? And this is a great idea that you came up with. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I was actually traveling from Knoxville over to Sumner County to speak at the Fellowship of Christian Athletes banquet that night. And a friend had sent me a text, but I was driving, of course, and wasn't able to get to it for a couple hours. And when I opened it up, I was like, oh, my goodness, this is going to be awesome. And then at first I just kind of made fun of Governor Walz, and I thought to myself, we could actually use this to raise some money for a good cause. So I issued the challenge of a charity wrestling event, and here we go, and it's gone viral. That tweet has about 2 million views right now, and it's just gone, like I said, it's just gone viral all over the place. And so here's the kicker, though. When I say we could raise some money, so far from credible sources, I have $50,000 pledged. I have a corporate title sponsor for the event. We could raise a lot of money for this, Governor Walz. So, man, get on board because it's all for a good cause.
And so just to throw your tweet out there, and I'll let you comment on it, Mayor, you said, all joking aside, Governor Tim Walz, let's put our money where our mouth is. Charity wrestling match. We'll split the gate 50-50 between our chosen organizations, and I'll kick off myself with a $10,000 donation. So you are not only willing to put the tights back on, you're putting your money where your mouth is.
Well, exactly. I mean, if I'm going to make the challenge, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and all for a good cause. But seriously, one of the major issues that I see with this as well is the fact that if I had said something like that, if Donald Trump had said something like that, we would be excoriated. We would be accused of inciting violence, of threatening people, and it just shows you the double standard that the left has. And I also think that this is the attacks on Tesla dealerships. They're just another symptom of this weak-minded folks on the left, right? And they act like petulant little brats who haven't gotten their way, but instead of going to their room and throwing a fit, they go out and destroy property, in some cases hurt people. So it's not just this entertaining, I'm going to make fun of Tim Walz because he's trying to act like something that he isn't. This is something that has infected the entire left, at least the far left, and it's really become a big issue for our society.
Well, I mean, and you look at issue after issue and moment after moment in time. I mean, you're so right, Mayor Jacobs. I used the examples yesterday of BLM protest in the summer of 2020. That seemed everything was okay. Nobody worried about COVID then. I mean, no rules applied to those things. And the media and the political left acted like it was perfectly understandable that they were burning private property to the ground and hurting human beings and in some cases killing other people. Right. These Tesla attacks, thank God that they have not turned deadly as of yet, but they're destroying private property. And, when any little thing happens on the other side, I watch these networks like CNN and MSNBC, and the types. They demand, they get Glenn Jacobs on, and then they want you to. Do you denounce this, Mayor Jacobs? Do you denounce it? When's the last time you heard them demand that Schumer or AOC or Tim Walz or anyone else denounce the violence that's going on in their name around the United States?
Yeah, to my knowledge, no congressional Democrat has condemned the violence that's occurring against Elon Musk, the Tesla cars, and the Tesla dealerships. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, Matt, no matter what, we're all Americans. And I may disagree with you, may disagree with me, but violence is something that should never be part of any sort of political discourse. And it's not the right. We're always accused of being the mean ones and taking up violence. We're not the ones that do that. It's actually the left that does that. And then, as you said, unfortunately, the mainstream media covers for them and acts when they do it, it's justified. If I say something that is just taken out of context, oh my gosh, I'm the worst human being on the planet.
Well, and I'll use, not to belabor the point, but I'll use Jan 6th as an example. I don't know of anybody that excused the violence that occurred on January 6th.
No. Everybody, including myself, that was roundly condemned, and that should have never happened. And the people that were involved should have been held accountable. Now, of course, what happened
right. What happened was political, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it turned political. I would say the people involved as well are any federal agents who are acting as provocateurs in that case.
That's exactly
right. Yes, and then, people are held without trial, without due process. But you're exactly right. We all, when that happened, everyone that I know of, everybody on the right said this was very bad and it should be condemned.
Right. That's right. Well, and circling back to the manhood problem that the political left seems to have, I think all of this is born from their desire to placate to a minuscule portion of the population. And look, I can feel for those people. If someone is genuinely gender dysphoric, I can have compassion for those people. But that doesn't mean that we need to change the very fabric of American society to make every accommodation for them to the point that we're destroying women's sports. They can't even acquiesce to that extreme wing of their party. And I think that therein lies the problem that they have. They don't know the difference between a man and a woman, and they don't celebrate those differences in the manner that conservatives or libertarians do.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you make a great point that it's hard to be a masculine man or a strong woman when you don't know what the difference between a man or a woman is. And now, of course, what's happened is they've all got the memo from their strategists and from their consultants saying, Donald Trump's in the White House because he portrayed a strong man. Well, Donald Trump is a strong man. He doesn't just portray one. That's what he is. But we have to be like that. And to be like that, you have to be a belligerent bully. And you have to cuss and do all these things that, just make you look like a ridiculous sophomore child.
Right.
And it's blowing up in their face. I mean, I really wish I could be a fly on the wall of Tim Walz's office now, when there may be no one's telling him this, but it's like, Governor, you're just getting destroyed on social media with what you said.
I mean, if he's smart, and I don't pretend that he is, if he's smart, he would take you up on it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's get together. Let's have a good time. Let's raise some money for charity. Let's see who the manly men are, and let's let the chips fall with. I bet you might have some nice, a nice pink spandex onesie for him that he could borrow.
No, I don't have that much in my pocket.
Where would it be, Mayor? Have you thought about where it might be? I mean, you kind of a place of his choosing. I mean, because I feel like you're serious about this. You would do it if he took you up on it.
Yeah, I would do it. I mean, and I think we could draw a heck of a crowd. Maybe Nissan Stadium, maybe Neyland Stadium. Actually, Governor Ron DeSantis today tweeted that we should go to Florida because they could host a neutral site. So I would assume we could actually use about any arena or stadium in the country.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Let us know, Mr. Mayor, if and when he responds to you. I feel like this is blowing up so much that he's going to have to respond at some point, and we can't wait for it. We're here for it. I absolutely love it. Thank you for everything you do. And the next time you're in Nashville, come by and see us. There's a lot of things we need to talk about.
Sure will, Matt. Thank you, and I hope everybody has a great weekend.
Absolutely. There's Mayor Glenn Jacobs joining us. He said, all joking aside, Governor Tim Walz, let's put our money where our mouth is in a charity wrestling match. We'll split the gate 50-50 between our chosen organization. I mean, he can give to any organization of his choosing.
Can you just envision him putting Walz in that claw that he used?
I'd pay good money to see that.
Just covering Walz's face.
With his hand just over his entire little head.